Hi Mom and Dad and Sis. I did this small video clip for you to know that I'm thinking about you now more than ever. And I'm making this video in hopes that I can instill my spirit in your heart as you celebrate Christmas without me this year, physically being there and with me being thousands of miles away in a different country. This is definitely a different Christmas without you. And it is one that makes me realize the sacrifice I have given so we can live in this wonderful world that our great God and Savior Jesus Christ gave us. The one thing that is exactly the same is the day that the baby who was born would later become our Savior, Jesus Christ. I just wanted to share some things with each of you that made me appreciate this truly amazing family I'm glad to call mine. Kel, I'll start with you. Do you remember in the few weeks before Christmas at school, we would make paper chains, and as each day passed, we would rip one link off the chain, and with each link ripped, our smiles would get bigger and bigger. Anxiously counting down the days, Santa would come down the chimney and eat some of our cookies, which we would leave, which only to find out later it was either Mom or Dad that would be sneaky and eat those cookies, to which we still haven't found out who it was. Now what I do know is how we found out there wasn't a Santa Claus, which were both ultimately my fault, and I'm sorry for that. The first clues were when I was little and climbing like a monkey on the counters just to try to find a bowl to eat cereal, to get the record straight. Upon finding a Toys R Us receipt, which happened to have all the toys that Santa brought us. But Mom, I commend you for trying to somehow spin it off by explaining that there still is a Santa. But as they say, curiosity killed the cat, or as one would say, curiosity killed the Sega. The second one being me having the bright idea to spit off the balcony and the security guard coming down, catching us and bringing us to Mama, Papa, Mom, and Dad. Mama told us, don't do that because you'll be on Santa's naughty list. And then we both realized afterwards what Dad had said. I don't even have to repeat it. Kelly, I miss you. I miss you a lot. I miss someone to play games with, someone to keep me on Santa's nice list, and most of all, someone to watch Frosty the Snowman, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and the Grinch. I can't wait to see you and give you another big kiss, and I can't wait to give you another gag gift. And just because I told you about the gag gift, don't get me one, because that's not fair. Dad, some things that I think of when I reminisce of our father and son experiences during Christmas was the way that we would prep the house for Mama and Papa by lighting the candles and making the house immaculate for them, and by you putting on some very smooth and beautiful but quiet Christmas music. I would notice as a kid that even the way you walked changed when it came time for Christmas. When Christmas was near, your whole persona changed. You were always smiling, grinning, and giving the occasional ear tug to let us know it was getting close to that time of the year. But when that day came, it was all business for you. And you were oh so serious. But when I was a kid, I didn't really understand why. Just like I didn't understand when Papa's brother would yell during the sermon at the church. The reason you were so serious is because you were trying to give us the best Christmas that you could possibly give. And that itself is no easy task, because all the setting up that had to go into the planning the dinner and wrapping the presents that you didn't want us to see, and trying to make the perfect setting for an amazing Christmas. once the day arrived, you would walk across the house softly and make sure that things were in good running order to have an utterly perfect night of gift giving and special family time that would never be forgotten. You were always selfless, and it rubbed off onto your kids. I mean, how many kids can say they got a horse for Christmas? Dad, you made me the man I am today, and I couldn't ask for a better present than that. Dad, I know we don't talk much, but I do love you dearly, and I think of you every time I look in the mirror and smile, because I get that part straight from you. Thank you for being a father that was always there when we needed you and never backed out or left us. I also can't wait to give you a great big bear hug and cry on your shoulder, because you bring more emotion out in me than anyone else. And last but not least, the manager. Mom, when I think of just the word Christmas, I think the letters Darlene are in there somewhere. I've never seen someone spend so much time and make preparations for that time of the year. I see you light up the day after Thanksgiving, knowing the time is coming when we will all be together sharing presents, which, by the way, you almost knew every present you were going to get, and I hated that. You make one of the most amazing Christmas villages I have ever seen. You make a department store look like a snow globe in size. The village you create pours straight into the entire house, and even on the outside you would go crazy with the lights and make National Lampoon seem like small time. I also remember the times I would want to help you wrap the presents, but you knew how clumsy I was and how easily I could jack things up. But with you being sweet with your son, as always, you would let me help by telling me to vacuum, which I still managed to screw up. In this case, it worked out to your advantage because you got a new vacuum. Mom, I miss you so much. And I know that I'm a mama's boy by heart, and I can't help it. You always spoiled me with everything, and I have always been your baby that you always talk and think about, and it doesn't go unnoticed. I also think of you every day and about how or what you're doing. But man, I miss laying on the bed with you playing Guitar Hero. But that will come soon enough. Thank you for always letting me put the finishing touches on the Christmas tree, which was your baby. So to sum things up, I love you guys and miss you guys very much. Save the wishbone for me and try not to keep the house too perfect so you can put me to work when I get home. Anna's halfway through the honeydew from last Christmas and dreams about your famous cookies. She wanted me to tell you guys Merry Christmas, Mom and Dad and Kelly. I love you guys. Good night and ho, ho, ho.